We talk about longevity like it's a puzzle made of superfoods, supplements, perfect routines, and cutting edge science. But there's one piece, one massively important piece that almost everyone gets backwards. I didn't realize how backwards until I spent years traveling the world, sitting with the people who have outlived entire generations. These men and women weren't just old, they're vibrant, sharp, joyful, and they all shared one thing in common. They avoided something that most of us consume without a second thought. Something that quietly sabotages our sleep, our discipline, our metabolism, our safety, and our ability to make the choices that keep us young. And the story of how I discovered this begins in a small Australian village with a 97-year-old man named Paul who told me something I'll never forget. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Fountain of Youth. I'm Leon, and I've dedicated my life to extending yours. Let's add some years. Today we're diving into a topic that is uncomfortable for many, ignored by most, and misunderstood by nearly everyone. Let's start with the truth most people never hear. Alcohol is toxic to every single cell in your body, not metaphorically, biologically. It damages tissues, accelerates aging, increases inflammation, disrupts sleep, weakens immunity, and raises the risk of chronic disease. And here's the part that shocked me when I first learned it. Alcohol doesn't just harm your body, it really harms your choices. When you drink, your willpower drops, your discipline fades, your ability to make longevity-aligned decisions weakens dramatically. You stay up later, you eat worse, you skip routines, you lose the structure that keeps your biology stable. Alcohol doesn't just age you, it derails the habits that keep you young. And that creates a compounding negative effect that accelerates aging far faster than people realize. But before I tell you what Paul whispered to me in Australia, the line that changed my entire relationship with alcohol, let me take you around the world for a moment. I have spent years traveling across continents, interviewing centenarians, studying their habits, and uncovering the secrets that allowed them to live not just long lives, but youthful, childlike ones. And here's something that stunned me early on. Alcohol is almost non-existent in the lives of the longest living people on Earth. And when it is present, it looks nothing like the alcohol that we consume today. In Sardinia and Okinawa, in the mountains of Costa Rica, the small villages in Greece, alcohol was rare. And when it did appear, it was always the same thing. Fresh, handmade, locally fermented wine. Not the wine from your local store, not the wine filled with sugar and additives, preservatives, and synthetic sulfates. Yes, grapes naturally contain sulfates, but commercial wine manufacturer add more for taste, texture, stability, and all these shelf life things. The longest living people don't drink that. Their wine is simple, it's pure, it's unprocessed, and here's the part that surprised me most. The alcohol percentage is dramatically lower than what we buy today. And they don't drink it daily. They don't drink it casually. They drink it ritually, in community, in celebration, and in moderation. And that's what brings me back to Australia. I was in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and vineyards that looked like they were painted by hand. I had been told about a man named Paul, 97 years old, sharp as a blade, strong, vibrant, full of life, and when I met him, he greeted me with a smile and a handshake that literally warmed my soul. That night, as we sat with his community, he poured me a glass of their local wine they all made together by hand. They do this once a year as a ritual. It tasted nothing like store-bought wine. It was lighter, softer, almost alive. I asked Paul if this wine was part of his longevity. He laughed, leaned in, and said something that stopped me cold. Leon, the wine is not the secret. The waiting is. I didn't understand it at first, so he continued. When you have something to look forward to, something special, something rare, it keeps you reaching. It keeps life alive. If you have something all the time, it stops being special. Too much of anything is not good, but a little joy, a little celebration, once in a while, that's what keeps the spirit young. And that's when it hit me. The wine wasn't the longevity lever. The moderation, the anticipation, the community, the ritual, the restraint, that was the secret. When you drink, your body immediately shifts into damage control mode. The liver stops processing fats and sugars, focus solely on detoxifying that alcohol. That means fat storage increases, blood sugar retention worsens, and inflammation rises. Alcohol disrupts sleep architecture, suppresses your REM sleep, and impairs the brain's ability to repair itself overnight. Even one drink can reduce sleep quality, and poor sleep accelerates aging faster than most people will ever realize. So yes, alcohol is a personal choice, but it's not a neutral one. If you're going to drink, here are the smartest, longevity-aligned choices you can make. Drink in moderation, far less than you think. Choose clean, naturally fermented wines, not these sugary cocktails or chemical-filled beers. Avoid drinks with additives, preservatives, and synthetic sulfates. Drink it slowly. Drink it with people. Drink it with the food you love. And most importantly, treat alcohol like a celebration, not a habit. Let me be clear. I'm not here to shame or preach. I personally consume alcohol, but very rarely. Small doses in celebratory moments only. A wedding, a milestone, a moment worth making. But when you treat your body right, it pays you back with decades of extra, joyful, vibrant years with the people that you love. And you can adopt this mindset too. If you choose to drink, drink smartly. And most importantly, drink infrequently. 6 times a year or so is vastly different than every single weekend. Your body keeps the score. When you reduce alcohol, something remarkable happens. Sleep improves, decision-making sharpens, hormones stabilize, motivation rises, and routines strengthen. And routines repeated over decades, that is what creates longevity. That is the portion for long life. That's the reveal. Longevity isn't about never enjoying life. It's about choosing enjoyment that doesn't steal tomorrow. It's about rewards that don't cost you years. It's about treating your body with respect and letting it pay you back with vibrant, joyful decades spent with the people you love. These are the truths this channel exists to bring you. Not products, not pills, not shortcuts, but lived wisdom gathered from the longest living people on this earth. If you don't subscribe, one of these lessons, one that could change your health, your future, or the life of someone you love, might slip by. If you believe life is meant to be long, meaningful, and deeply enjoyed, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Subscribe, please. Stay with me, and let's keep breaking the norms to add those years. Can't miss my next video. I'm taking you to another place where modern habits collide with ancient longevity, and what I discovered there may challenge everything you think you know about healthy living. Thank you so much for watching today. I remain fully committed to getting us and the ones we love well into our 100s. I'll see you in the 3000s.